Hello, everyone. Hope you're having a great day. Today, we're diving into a gripping family drama. A powerful father secretly pushes James to leave the country to break a forbidden love, while Diep follows a trail of debts, warnings, and one cryptic note on a bus station board. Moon later. The burning question is our hook. Is James really okay to go? Or did going just move the danger off camera? Stick around as we unpack the deals, the threats, and the choices that could change everything. If you enjoy this story, don't forget to subscribe so you won't miss the next episode. Is James truly okay to go? Or are we just sending a beating heart into a colder kind of danger? If he leaves now, who meets him at the border? A friend or a set of empty hands? If he stays, who tears his life apart first? The gossip, the pride, or the father who calls control by softer names? Every angle opens another question, and the questions won't stop knocking. The call begins in a narrow, dim room where one lamp draws a circle of yellow over old wood. The brother answers slowly, measuring each word before it leaves his mouth. On the other end, a low voice settles in like heavy furniture. The father. He doesn't warm up. He doesn't waste syllables. James plans to marry a poor, uneducated girl, he says. I won't allow it. The brother keeps his balance. But what do you want me to do? It's not defiance. It's a demand for clarity. The father names the deed. Send him abroad. Today, if possible. Cambodia. Keep him away from her. Then, like a man placing tools on a table, he lines up offers. The whole wood workshop and a branch in Van Xuan. Silence sits between them, listening. The brother knows the shape of right and wrong, knows how quickly men erase both with excuses. I don't move sons like cargo, he says. The father doesn't argue, he sweetens. Change the branch to Xuanvan if you like. Names don't matter. Outcomes do. No harm to the boy. As for Diep, leave her to fate. Leave her to fate. The words frost the air. The brother stands at a crossroads where each road leads to a different version of himself. He imagines what the workshop could be with honest books and good timber. He imagines what refusing will invite. Someone hungrier, colder, grateful to do worse for less. He clears his throat. Change the branch to Xuanvan, he says, drawing a line he hopes is still a line. The father agrees at once. The bargain is struck without the ceremony it deserves. When the call ends, the room doesn't breathe. The brother pockets a promise and a regret in the same motion. If he refuses, another man will take the job. If he accepts, another part of him pays. He chooses the version that keeps James unhurt, at least in body, and steps into a corridor that smells like varnish and old rain, carrying the weight of a secret that already feels heavier than the reward. Papers shuffle under the father's hand like obedient birds. Go today, he tells his son, tapping the line that fixes the date. If there's trouble, call me. Keep your head down. Work hard. James nods. Is he convinced or just careful? His eyes don't rise to meet the speech. The pen moves. The stamp lands. The system hums like a well-fed engine. On the table, a passport edge glints like a coin in shallow water. Meanwhile, in a field that keeps its own time, Diep plans a small errand and goes alone when help falls through. The wind bends the potato leaves into soft, green waves. She lifts the plants with steady hands, surprised by the size of the harvest. Solid, heavy, promising. 15 kilograms at 15,000 a kilogram. She does the math without looking away from the dirt, subtracting the costs that don't show up on receipts. Transport, space. The hour she stands smiling while someone haggles for sport. Profit flickers like a match in a breeze. She turns a potato over in her palm, thinking of what it could become. Crisp slices for vendors who sell while walking, stews that feed a family without asking too many questions of their wallet, candied pieces for children who want sweet without ceremony. She loads the basket. Dust clings to her ankles on the road back, the strap pressing a mark into her shoulder. The weight becomes a metaphor she didn't ask for. Life is a market. We carry what we hope will sell. When the village lane opens, the evening light lays a clean stripe across her face, showing both fatigue and stubbornness. Independence is not glamorous here. It is simply practiced. At the stall, the world expands and tightens at once. Scales, voices, bargains. 15 kilograms, the needle says, obedient. 15,000 a kilogram, the mouth repeats. Nye twirls in a dress and learns the word pretty again. Praise lands like a small blessing everyone can afford. The moment glows exactly until a man bursts through with his eyes fixed on the ground, an uncle moving too fast for comfort. Diep steps into his path, palm raised. "Why are you avoiding me?" He flinches as if the air has teeth. "Don't ask," he whispers. "I was threatened. I shouldn't speak." The words shake like leaves that know the storm personally. He looks over his shoulder, then back at her. "Be careful with James's father. He's cruel. He made your fate once. He can do anything to hurt you and Nye." The noise of the market thins, not because it softens, but because her mind has turned the volume down on everything except those sentences. Nye's hat slides off, taps the dust, skitters a circle, the smallest metaphor for the danger that crouches beside them. Diep steadies her voice. "What connection? What did he do?" The uncle's head is already moving no. "I can't say. Find out yourself, and be careful." In the space of a breath, a cheerful routine becomes a lit hallway with half the bulbs burned out. Diep sees the past gathering threads she didn't notice at the time. A fee paid by an unnamed friend, a door opened too easily, a landlord who forgave a debt and never mentioned why. She sees the present trying to fold those threads into a net. She feels the future press its thumb into her shoulder, testing for softness. The uncle retreats, leaving fear behind like smoke. Diep picks up Nye's hat, shakes off the dust, ties the strap under a small chin. "Cake later," she says, choosing a simple promise to anchor the moment. She sells the last sacks with hands that no longer belong entirely to the transaction. Across the river of the crowd, she can almost see the father with his pen and his need to be obeyed, the brother with his bargain and his borrowed courage, James with his bag and the long road ahead, or the short one, depending on who counts the steps. She moves through the checklist by habit. Settle the scale, tuck the coins, close the basket, nod to the neighbor, lift, go. The road home remembers her feet. Dust rises, light fades, the smell of earth follows without asking. At the gate, she buys Nye a small cake. "We'll share," she says. The child bites and nods solemnly. Delicious. It is proof that not everything turns to ash when you're looking the other way. The house is simple and knows how to hold quiet. Diep sets the cake down to cool because sugar always needs a moment to become itself. "Bath first, rice later," she says, turning the taps, foaming small clouds into a basin. Routine is a kind of shield. As water runs, the uncle's warning keeps tapping at the window of her thoughts. "Be careful with him. He made your fate once." If that's true, how long has this road been under construction without her consent? She flips her phone. No missed calls. She dials James anyway and speaks into the long tone like a lighthouse speaks to fog. "If you're safe, say one word. If you're not safe, say two. I'll know which is which, she says, then ends the call before the machine can make her leave a smile she doesn't feel. She serves rice, splits the cake, watches Nai chew joy into the edges of the day. Later, we'll watch the moon, she says. Another promise, another rope across another river. Be careful. The words return as she wipes the table, stacks bowls, sweeps. The motion steadies the mind enough to plan. Tomorrow, she will ask the aunt with the good memory, the shopkeeper who hears more than he sells, the teacher who once paused before thanking a donor. She will copy what papers she has. She will speak to the neighbor about a quiet overnight if the lane grows strange. She will decide where not to meet and who not to trust. She will keep loving James without mistaking love for blindness. She will keep Nai close, because nothing stays noble when a child becomes a pawn. Is James truly okay to go? The question doesn't fade. It changes shape. Okay will mean informed, not obedient. Reachable, not vanished. His choice, not a father's signature calling itself concern. Night draws its curtain. Diep checks the latch twice, then a third time for the thought she didn't finish. The cake plate gleams faintly. In the next room, Nai's breathing evens into a small, steady rhythm that refuses drama. Diep sits, listens, and lets one thin line of tears fall. Quiet, useful, clearing. They carve a path for tomorrow to follow. Is James really okay to go? Or did going just move the danger out of sight where it can grow teeth? If he crossed the border, who's waiting? A foreman with a bed and a wage, or a man with a list and a debt? If he didn't, who wrote the story that says he did? The longer you stare at the question, the more it splits. Is okay about geography, consent, safety, or truth? And if his father calls this protection, what does harm look like in his dictionary? Dawn drifts in on soft feet. Diep is awake before it, listening to the small house breathe. Nai's even rhythm, the tick of a pan cooling, the lane's first scooter coughing itself into purpose. The phone on the table is a quiet animal again. No missed calls. She washes her face, ties her hair, and moves like someone who has decided that waiting counts as work if you do it with intention. They keep the morning ritual, the anchor that held when the warning tried to blow them sideways last night. Bath first, rice later, Diep says, and Nai salutes with a toothbrush. After market, moon, the child reminds, because promises need caretakers. Diep wraps the basket strap across her shoulder and tucks the notebook into her pocket. It's not just a notebook anymore. It's a ledger of questions and a seed of strategy. The market opens like an eyelid. She claims her square of ground, arranges potatoes into small hills that look generous, and lights the face she wears for customers. Between sales, she starts the quiet harvest of information. "Aunt," she says to the vendor with the best memory, "do you remember the year the school fees were suddenly handled?" The aunt squints at time, then plucks the answer like a thread. "The year the well went dry," she says. "A man paid, not from here. Tall, soft shoes. The principal never said the name." Diep writes, "Man, soft shoes, not local." She moves 2 stalls down. "Uncle," she tries with the shopkeeper who hears everything, "do riders to the border buy tickets same day?" He shrugs with a philosopher's grace. "Cash is king at the station," he says. "Names are the decoration." She writes, "Manifests unreliable, check kiosks." The teacher she had hoped to catch does not appear. Rumors say a relative fell ill. Rumors are so polite when they're lying. The father dials the brother while the city pretends to be a machine. "He should be gone by now," the father says, a statement wrapped in question marks only other people must answer. The branch name? The brother looks at the scrap where he wrote Xuan Van last night and hears the scratch of his own conscience. Changed, he says, because it is easier to rename a door than to admit what's behind it. And the boy? In transit, the brother replies, making the lie small enough to swallow without choking. He doesn't know. He knows he doesn't know. He says it anyway. A man no one will remember stands watching the market from the shadow of a pillar. He isn't here to buy. He is here to measure distances, expressions, the time it takes a woman to cross from stall to stall. He makes a quick call with his back to the lane. She's working, he reports. Normal, the kid's with her. The person on the other end answers with a sound that isn't a word and isn't kind. Mid-morning, an old debt collector shuffles by with a ledger that has outlived 3 weddings and a burglary. He is hard of hearing, but loyal to dates. I'm looking for a name from the year the well went dry, Diep says, smiling the way you smile at bureaucracy when you need it to pretend to be human. He flips and taps, and then pauses, finger resting on a column. Fee paid by workshop account, district office. He squints. No person, just a stamp. She writes, workshop, district office, stamped. The book smells like mildew and power. By noon, the potatoes thin and the notebook thickens. A rumor drifts in that the bus to the border left late yesterday with 2 empty seats. Another says the driver took cash and no names because the line was long and patience was short. Another says a boy matching James's shape bought a bottled drink and stared at the wall like it was telling him something important. Rumors are a chorus that sings off-key and still tells you the song. Diep hands Nui a coin for sesame sweets. Stay where I can see you, she says. She packs fast, leaves faster. The bus station smells like fuel and impatience. She moves kiosk to kiosk, bringing the same question with different eyes. A tall boy, thin, clean shirt. Yesterday afternoon. 2 shrugs, 1 bored, maybe, and then a nod. The woman at the 3rd kiosk remembers the drink. He paid in small bills, kept checking his phone. When the bus idled, he stood like he'd made a decision he didn't like. Did he board? Diep asks, voice too level to be natural. I took a call, the woman admits. When I looked up, the bus was gone and so was he. A slice of certainty, a slab of fog. There's a corkboard near the exit where people leave notes for people the city almost swallowed. Diep scans habit and handwriting. 1 square of paper holds 2 words, only she would read correctly. Moon later. They are a private echo of a sentence from last night. She takes a picture. She does not take the note. If James wrote it, he is alive and stubborn. If someone else wrote it, they are wrong about what it will do to her. At the workshop by the river, the saws sing their thin metal hymn. The brother waits by a stack of timber that smells honest and looks like money. He chose this place because truth lives in grain lines if you know how to read. I didn't hurt him, he says before she can accuse him of anything. I moved the weather. I wish I hadn't. Diep does not offer him absolution he hasn't earned. Why me? She asks. What does he made my fate mean? The brother peels the past like a bandage that stuck. There was a debt, he says. Small for the father, large for your family. He paid it with 1 hand and kept the receipt with the other. When he bothered to look at you again years later, he had paperwork that called itself destiny. Why tell me now? Because I'm tired of being the hinge on a door I didn't build. He glances at the open bay. You should leave town for a few days, for the child's sake. For his father's peace, she counters. "No," he says, surprising himself. "For your own plan to grow teeth." A motorbike coughs outside. The brother's eyes harden a notch. "You're being watched," he says. "2 corners back, 1 across. Don't go home the same way." He pulls a folded paper from his pocket. Dates, places, who moved what. It's not everything, but it's a map. She takes it with hands that don't shake because trembling is for later. Homeward, she chooses 3 streets no one expected her to choose. She stops at a tailor, buys thread she doesn't need, borrows 2 minutes to stand by a back door and listen for footsteps that aren't hers. When she reaches the lane, she doesn't enter. She texts a neighbor a word that means watch. The neighbor opens her door and keeps it that way. Community is a door you leave unlocked for the right reason. Inside, the house feels the way rooms feel after they've been stared at by the wrong eyes. Everything exactly where it was. Nothing comfortable. Nye chatters about sweets and a sparrow. Diep nods like a woman with nothing extraordinary to report. She cooks rice and keeps the ladle moving. Food steadies hands and buys minutes. Night folds in. The father signs the transfer that pushes the workshop toward the brother. He feels magnanimous and righteous, a dangerous mix. He imagines James melting into industry and forgetting to be in love. He imagines Diep realizing she is outmatched and lowering her eyes. He does not imagine a notebook or a corkboard or a child who remembers the word promise. The brother sits with the deed in front of him and cannot touch it. The letters of Xuan Van look like a dare. He calls no one and answers to himself. If the door opens, you are the one who cut the key. He stands, turns off the light, and takes the long way home because the short way feels undeserved. Diep lays out the copies she made. Birth papers, rent notes, the photo of Moon later, the list from the brother. She writes names on separate slips and places them in different books. If someone finds one thing, they will not find all of it. She draws a circle around tomorrow. Station again, district office, the aunt who cleans at the ward and knows which rooms whisper. She sharpens a pencil like a sword. Is James really okay to go? The question returns, but now it has context. A father who rebranded leverage as love. A brother who bartered conscience for timber and then tried to trade back. A woman who will not let the word fate erase her handwriting. A child who needs the moon to keep its appointment. Okay will mean he can choose, he can call, he can come back without begging permission from the man who stamped him out of the country. The phone lights at last. 1 bar, 1 chance. A message arrives with 2 words, only she and he would parse properly. Safe later. Not a location, not a timeline, a promise with a bruise on it. It is both more than nothing and less than enough. Diep wipes the table clean, sets the phone down, and goes to the doorway where the night hangs like a curtain. Later, she tells the darkness, not as a wish, but as an appointment. Behind her, Nye sleeps with one hand open, as if catching light. In front of her, the lane holds its breath. Somewhere, a motorbike turns and doesn't stop. Somewhere else, a pen scratches, irritated that paper isn't obedience. Tomorrow, she will ask new questions in older rooms. Tomorrow, the brother will decide which truth he can live with. Tomorrow, the father will learn that fate is not a document. It is a crowd with memories. And somewhere between the station and the border, a boy named James will read a note that says Moon later, and know that later is not a place you find by accident. James's powerful father secretly orders his brother to send James abroad to kill a forbidden love. The brother resists, then accepts a bribe. The wood workshop and a branch renamed Xuan Van on the condition James isn't harmed. Papers for Cambodia are rushed through. Meanwhile, Diep shoulders daily work, harvesting potatoes, selling at the market, caring for Nai, until an uncle, trembling, warns her, "The father is ruthless and once made your fate." Anxiety hardens into resolve. Diep follows clues to the bus station, where a clerk recalls a boy like James, and a pinned note whispers, "Moon later." The brother, guilty, gives her a partial map and warns she's being watched. That night, Diep copies documents, drafts questions, and prepares safe paths. The hook remains. Is James truly okay to go? Or did going just push the danger out of sight?